Hello friends, I am Prof.L.B.Gayakawad who is teaching today the topic the airstream mechanisms. See, we have seen the first video in which we have seen some topic of the airstream mechanisms. Today I am teaching you the next topic of the airstream mechanisms. Today we are discussing about the glottalic, that is the pharyngeal airstream mechanism. Remember, the glottalic, that is the pharyngeal airstream mechanism, means what? It is related with throat. Remember, this glottalic airstream mechanism is related with the throat, our throat. This is the throat, and this mechanism is related with our throat. Means the throat helps us to produce the sounds, and that throat is called the pharynx. Pharynx. Remember, the throat, that is the pharynx, and it is created with the closed glottis. Remember, when there is the glottalic airstream mechanism, there is the creation with the closed glottis. Means the glottis at that time is closed. Means the glottis never works at that time. And this mechanism is created, and the pharynx air is available there. Remember, the pharynx air is available there. That is the point. The pharynx air is available there. The next point I will discuss is that this glottalic airstream mechanism works as a respiration. Remember, this is the mechanism which is about the respiratory system. You know, respiratory system means these are the systems which are related to our breathing. That is called the respiration. And this glottalic pharyngeal airstream mechanism is working or it works as the respiration system. It shows the respiration system and digestion. Remember, digestion means everything is digested. It means that everything is controlled there, digested there, getting air means taking air, means in this system the air is taken, the air is received from the nasal cavity. Remember, from the nasal cavity means, you know, this is our nose and there is the nasal cavity inside the nose, and from that nasal cavity this digestion system, or I will say respiratory method, is created, and the main center of it is the nasal cavity. With the air, remember, there is the air, that air works there, that is the air. Then there is the food. Remember, the food which we eat, that food is also there. And water is also there from the oral cavity. Remember, from the oral cavity there is the water. Means, my point is that there is the air, there is the food, there is the water, and these things are available there from the oral cavity. Oral cavity means, I will say, our mouth. The cavity, the area, the section which is there available in the mouth, is called the oral cavity, and from this oral cavity these things are available there. So the next thing I am telling you about this glottalic pharyngeal airstream mechanism is that the pharynx brings food. Remember, the pharynx is there, and the function of the pharynx is to bring food. Remember, the pharynx brings food and air to the larynx. Means there is the pharynx. This pharynx brings the food, the air, and that food and the air are sent to the larynx from the mouth and the nose. That means from the mouth and the nose means there are these two sections of our body which are very much useful, and from these two sections, it means from the mouth and from the nose. Remember, this pharynx brings food and air and sends to the larynx from the mouth and the nose. It means that the pharynx takes the food and air from the mouth and the nose system. My point is that here the pharynx brings food and air to the larynx. It means that the pharynx sends that food, that air to the larynx from the mouth and the nose. Means from the area of the mouth and the nose. That is the explanation I will tell you. Now the next is the epiglottis stops food. There is one organ of speech, and that organ of speech is the epiglottis. That epiglottis stops food. Stops food. It means that this food cannot go ahead. Means the epiglottis stops food from going into the larynx. Remember, from going into the larynx, it means that the food cannot go, the food cannot enter into the larynx because of the epiglottis. Means there is the epiglottis, and that epiglottis stops that food, and hence the food never goes into the larynx. That is the system, that is the method, and this method is very important here. And remember, we are discussing here the glottalic pharyngeal airstream mechanism. The next is the nostrils of the nose. Remember, this is our nose and there are the nostrils. This is the first nostril and this is the second nostrils. And so the nostrils of the nose, then the larynx, then the trachea, that is the windpipe, and the bronchus. These are the organs, and these organs is the glottalic mechanism area. So what is the glottalic mechanism area? The glottalic mechanism area is our nostrils, our larynx, our trachea, that is the windpipe, and the bronchus is the area of the glottalic mechanism. So remember, here we have finished the glottalic pharyngeal airstream mechanism. Now I am going to discuss the third airstream mechanism. Remember, we saw the first airstream mechanism. Now I discuss the second glottalic pharyngeal airstream mechanism. Now I am discussing the third airstream mechanism, and the third airstream mechanism is very important, and that is the mechanism, the velaric airstream mechanism. Remember, the third mechanism of our producing sounds is the velaric airstream mechanism. So now, what is the velaric airstream mechanism? We will see. Remember, the velaric airstream mechanism is related with the tongue. The tongue is the main organ. The tongue is the main part. The tongue is the main section through which this mechanism is made available, or this mechanism works with the help of the tongue. So the point is that the tongue does this mechanism. Remember, this mechanism is done by the tongue, means the tongue is there, and this tongue is very important to make successful this mechanism. The second point I will discuss is that the mouth air is made speedy. Remember, when this mechanism begins there, the mouth air, it means that the air in the mouth, means there is the air in the mouth, and that mouth air makes speedy. It means that the air works so speedily. The air is not passive there, the air is too much active there, and this happens only because of the function of this tongue, and that's why the mouth air is made speedy. Means the air in the mouth works very speedily. It never stops at one place, or it never stops, as I will say, passively, and that's why the explanation is that the mouth air is made speedy. Thus, the tongue maintains the sounds. In this way, the tongue is there and the tongue maintains the sounds, means only because of the tongue all the sounds are produced there, and in this way this system is called the velaric airstream, I will say, system or mechanism. The next point is, with lungs assistance, the tongue creates this airflow in the mouth. Remember, this is very important point, that the tongue creates, means we just saw that the tongue is the main center, the main section, the tongue is the main part, the tongue is the main organ, and this tongue takes, remember, the tongue takes the airflow in the mouth. It means that with the assistance of the lungs, means remember there are the lungs in our chest, and these lungs are related with the air, and with the help of the lungs, or with the assistance of the lungs, the tongue creates this airflow. Airflow means there is the airflow, and that airflow is too much, very speedily, and that speedily airflow is created by the tongue in the mouth only with the existence of the lungs cooperation. Means the lungs cooperates there, and in this way this mechanism goes ahead and the tongue can work there. Now the next point is, there happens the closure in the mouth with the two organs ready. Remember, in this way the next situation happens that there are the two organs, and these two organs get up, means they start working. they become very ready to work, and because of that thing there happens the closure. Closure means the mouth is closed. Mouth is closed. How we will see ahead. So remember, there happens the closure system, means the mouth is closed. And how is that mouth closed? That mouth is closed with the two organs ready. Means those organs are ready. Those organs become ready for working, for doing the function, and in this way, with the help of these two organs, the mouth is closed. The mouth is stopped. There is the barrier in the mouth. That is the explanation. The next point is that the bilabial P is pronounced. Remember, the bilabial. Now what is this bilabial? Bi means two and labial means lips. Means our two lips are there. Means our lower lips and our upper lips. Means these are the upper lips, these are the lower lips. These lips pronounce some sounds, and that's why these sounds are called the bilabial sounds. Means the bilabial sounds are pronounced, are produced, are created with the help of the lips, and that's why these sounds are called the bilabial sounds. So the point is that the bilabial P, this is P. P means parrot. P means papa. All these words. P means pillow, like this. So P is the bilabial P, that is plosive. So the bilabial P is pronounced. Means there is the creation, there is the production of P. And so P is created, P is produced. That is, the plosive is pronounced. Remember, plosive. P is plosive, and there is the creation of the plosives, and the plosives are created. Which plosive? Here, P. So P is created. There is the production of the P by the upper and lower teeth. Remember, the upper and lower teeth means the upper means these and lower means these. So these two lips create that system, and so the bilabial P is pronounced, that is the plosive is pronounced by the upper and lower teeth. So remember, I will say P, 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 P. So in this way, the creation of P, that is the plosive, is done there. That is the point. So next is P is voiceless. Remember, P is voiceless and B is voiced. Why? Because the vocal cords are wide apart and vibrated. Remember, when the vocal cords, means our vocal cords are here. When the vocal cords are wide apart, then that sound is voiceless. And when our vocal cords are vibrated, or when our vocal cords vibrate, when we pronounce that sound, and vocal cords are wide apart, then that sound is the voiceless sound. And when the vocal cords are vibrated, or they get vibrated, or they vibrate, then that sound is the voiced sound. So remember here, the P is the voiceless and B is the voiced sound. Why? Because when we pronounce P, our remember the situation of the vocal cords. When we pronounce the P sound, then the vocal cords are wide apart. Why? Because P is voiceless and there is no tension there on these vocal cords, and that's why P is voiceless. And when we pronounce B, then there is the tension on the vocal cords, because the vocal cords are vibrated, they get vibrated or they vibrate. I will pronounce P, 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 P. When we say P, there is no tension to the vocal cords, and when we pronounce B, then there is the tension to the vocal cords. See, B, B, B. When I am pronouncing here B, then I am feeling that my vocal cords are getting vibrated. And when I am pronouncing P, there is no effect on my vocal cords, means there is a little bit less effect on them. That is the point I will discuss. So when we pronounce the voiceless sounds, the vocal cords are wide apart, and when we pronounce the voiced sounds, then the vocal cords are vibrated. That is the important point we should see. And in this way, last point I will discuss is that this is the ingressive mechanism. So remember, the velaric airstream mechanism comes under the type of the ingressive mechanism. So today I have seen all the airstream mechanisms. I have prepared the two videos. The first video already I have prepared, I have given that topic, and just after that first video, this new video now I have prepared. So I have finished here the topic of the airstream mechanisms. Again I will come with new videos on phonetics and phonology. Remember, I have decided to give all the syllabus of your phonetics and phonology with these videos. So please enjoy my videos, please share my videos, watch my videos, and please do something that my videos will be shared too much, and I will get some comments, or I will get some views, or I will get some watching hours. So with this I will stop here. Thank you very much.